This is Dream Chasers, episode 27, with Jon Gilkeson. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and welcome to Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. On Dream Chasers, we interview individuals with supernatural amounts of potential based on early success in their careers. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get straight to the interview. Hey guys, this is Adam Carswell, and today I'm joined by Jon Gilkeson. Jon is a realtor with the Zia Group based out of Santa Barbara, California. He's originally from Santa Barbara and went to Long Beach State in LA County. He now lives back in his hometown, Santa Barbara. Jon, thank you for being on the show today. And do you have any opening remarks for our listeners?
Hey, Adam. Thanks for having me on the show. Super excited to be here. This is my first podcast. Hopefully it all goes smooth, but I'm excited to be here and excited to get started.
We want to give a quick shout out to Eric Lynn of Cross Country Consulting, who introduced me to Bowen Lee, one of your business partners over there at the Zia Group. We are now live with Jon because Bowen, I asked Bowen, I have this podcast. I interview people who are doing very well, young in their careers. Do you have anyone at the Zia Group that fits that mold? And Jon, he flipped straight to you. So give your message to Bowen now too, I guess.
Will do. He's an absolute mover, shaker. He's a connector. So thanks, Bowen. Appreciate it.
So Jon, how long have you been working with the Zia Group?
I will be coming up on 5 years here in May of 2019.
Wow. And when did that become something that you decided you really wanted to take to the next level?
Honestly, after joining the Zia Group, it was kind of a second stint at real estate for me. I started doing it out in San Francisco, and I started with a smaller startup. Only lasted there after about a year. I realized I wasn't in the position that I wanted to be in and decided to move out of the city. I ended up having a buddy whose family was actually starting an organic fruit farm in Hawaii. So oddly enough, I decided to jump on this opportunity to kind of find myself, so to speak, and decided, to help me decide what I wanted to do. Basically, after working there for 3 months in the blistering sun on my hands and knees, half of the day plucking weeds, I knew that farming wasn't the route that I wanted to go. But even more importantly, I kind of started to get the itch to get back into real estate. And I knew that I had to give it another shot before I really gave up on it, because I did have a passion for it. I just wasn't in the right position in my first attempt. So that's when I moved back to my hometown of Santa Barbara, got introduced to the Zia Group. Funny enough, actually, Daniel Zia, the founder of the Zia Group, was actually my parents' realtor. That's how I got connected to him. When I was back in college, I used to like to go on the showings with my parents, and I was kind of interested in it at that time. And when I moved back to town, I remembered his name and thought, he seemed like a really, good guy. He was on top of it, knowledgeable. I ended up following up with him a bunch. Like a lot, before he actually returned my phone call. And that's kind of how I got started with the Zia Group. And once I had the right group and the right team of people around me, that really propelled my success forward. And that's when I knew that this was going to be the right situation for me.
I couldn't agree more. Being in those shoes before as well, getting started as a realtor, I even probably can admit that I didn't take the advice that I should have, which is to get involved with and join a team as soon as you can to kind of learn how things work before you start branching out and kind of doing your own thing. So I did the opposite. And one piece of advice that I could ever give to anyone is exactly what you just said. Get plugged in with someone who knows what they're doing, someone who cares about you. Also be willing to put in, maybe some hours getting started that you wouldn't ideally want to, because in the long run, you're going to be able to create a life for yourself that really is pretty fruitful and has a lot more freedom. I don't know if you could relate to that at all, but I also did want you, if you can you clarify, did you say you were farming in Hawaii?
Yeah. I was working on an organic fruit farm. It was actually one of my old college buddies. His parents kind of decided in their retirement that they wanted to move to Hawaii and start this fruit farm. And I was envisioning just working, in this tropical paradise, like eating these amazing tropical fruits and like just having the most fun time ever. Don't get me wrong, I loved being on Hawaii. I just didn't enjoy the work that much because I found out the farm hadn't even actually been started. So we were literally doing the groundwork of like clearing the fields, like planting the trees, So I didn't even get to reap the benefits of the fruit that was being grown yet, because none of it was actually producing. So yeah, that was kind of my stint in between jobs as I kind of found, it was a more of like a find myself type job.
Right.
But all in all, I mean, I still had a great time. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was hard labor that is I think it's good for you to experience that.
Yeah. And I noticed I apologize because I kind of threw two completely different questions at you at the same time just there. But yeah, talk a little bit more about the blood, sweat, and tears, maybe of those first couple of years or a year or so getting started with real estate, maybe even with the Zia Group. I don't know. What was it like for you at the very beginning?
Oh yeah, it was still a struggle. Even though I had the right training and the right people around me and the right systems, it wasn't a cakewalk, man. It took me 8 months before I got my first transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I was out door knocking. That's a big part of my business and how I've gotten a lot of my success through door knocking. But, door knocking, cold calling, talking to everyone. And still, it took me 8 months to get my first transaction under my belt. The beginning wasn't easy. And that's the scary part about real estate too. I mean, you don't get paid till you sell a home. It's 100% commission. So
right.
I was going 8 months without a paycheck. Luckily at the time I was living at my mom's house. So I didn't have a rent check to pay.
Right.
Yeah, it's scary and it's a struggle.
Well, it's good to see you've made it to where you're at now. John, what would you say is your why?
My why, I kind of have two, but I would say my main why is like my main end goal is to achieve financial freedom. Don't get me wrong. I love doing what I'm doing. Just like anything, I want to have the choice to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Exactly. And if I don't feel like working or, and I want to go on a month-long European adventure, then I want to have the opportunity to be able to do so. And same thing like with my future family that I want to have. I want to be able to, I love sports. I love coaching. I want to be able to coach my kids. I want to be able to, make it to all their games, pick them up from school, do all those things. And if I'm held back by, trying to make a dollar, that's not where I want to be. So that's my end goal, is to achieve that financial freedom.
I couldn't agree more. And that's definitely a vision and a dream that personally I would agree is a lot more achievable when you're in a entrepreneurial business or in a role where you can really control your own hours and call your own shots. Absolutely. Yeah. To touch on that some more, real estate I got in it not just so I could help others buy real estate, because that's kind of my second why is being able to help others. I find that extremely rewarding. And sometimes that's one of the things where, this business is really rough, but at the end of the day, I really love working with first-time home buyers too, because they really get that enjoyment out of it. I'm a recent first-time home buyer, and that's another reason that I absolutely love doing the job. But I did get into real estate so that I could learn more about it personally, because I realized in order to achieve that financial freedom, you need to be able to have that passive income. To have that passive income, you need to have things that are working for you even while you're not working, so that you're having the money come in. And for me, that's owning investment properties, income producing properties that cash flow. Mm-hmm. So I can own these properties and the money will be coming in while I sleep. I love it. Sounds like you and I need to have a conversation after this. Yeah, I know. It all sounds really good in theory, but I'm still working on the plan myself too. But yeah, we should definitely have a conversation after this. That'd be fun. Nice. What industry leaders and role models are you inspired by? My industry role model is definitely, I would say, Daniel Zia of the Zia Group. I already mentioned him once, but he's the one that's kind of taken me under his wing, been not just a great mentor, business-wise, but also a personal mentor of mine, that I know that I can come to him with anything, business, personal, whatever it is. But he's just got a really good business mind, just a really smart guy. And I value his advice. So yeah, that's probably been my number one mentor in the business. Mm-hmm. Outside of the industry, I'm sure you've probably have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk? Of course. Yep. Okay. I never know. It's always hit or miss. He's definitely getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, I was high on his podcast.
I've slowed down listening to it because it does get a little bit repetitive. It's kind of the same stuff over and over. But in the beginning, man, he has a great business mind as well. And he just, you know how he is. He'll throw out the F-bomb every 5 words, but he's super, super honest, truthful, real. And there's just some raw knowledge to that I really enjoyed. And I've related, or I've applied a lot of his concepts to my own business.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of guys out there, I would say similar to him, but maybe not as big, that are just straight shooters. Another relatively popular one, I would agree, is Grant Cardone. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just being in real estate.
Exactly. And I've been getting on the podcast kick recently. So anytime I can make that time in my car driving from appointments productive, I do as much as possible.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And those podcasts are very inspiring. I heard a pretty cool quote recently, and I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was basically motivation is like taking a bath, meaning you don't just get motivated once and then that's it forever. You don't just take one bath for the month and then call it a day. Like, you need daily motivation, or at least, multiple times a week. I guess you don't have to take a bath every day, but yeah. So staying plugged in with podcasts and information that helps us get better on a daily basis, or at least as many times as we can per week, is totally the right thing to do. So I applaud you on being the podcast while you drive guy.
Yeah, no, it's so true, man. I couldn't agree more. You got to have that. Honestly, I think you do need the daily motivation, depending on the industry that you're in. You hear these guys talk and hear the energy in their voice and the enthusiasm and the passion. You're like, dang, how do they do that? Like, I need to be more like that, So it truly is inspiring.
Jon, where do you see yourself in 3 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I still see myself working with the Zia Group, continuing to grow my business. I'm actually in the process of hiring my first assistant. I actually have my first in-person interview today, so that's exciting. And that's kind of the next step to leveraging my time to do and achieve more. I used to think that I wanted to form my own real estate team, but honestly, after being in the industry for a couple of years, I realized that I don't want to have to manage others and be the guy at the top who kind of has to put out all the fires. And trust me, there's a lot of fires that we have to put out in our job. I'm already putting out enough of my own, let alone if I had a team that I'm having to put out theirs as well. It just sounds exhausting.
Right.
So I really enjoy the role I'm in now, and would be stoked to be working with the amazing team that I'm currently working with, and just continuing to crush the real estate game. So, but as far as like kind of building my personal team with an assistant, I think that's kind of thing that's going to help me kind of break through the next ceiling, and then just finding ways to continue and grow my business.
I love it. And yeah, sometimes keeping it simple, keeping it to as few people as involved as possible is definitely a more stress-free way to go about enjoying your business. Yeah,
it definitely is. Yeah. As I mentioned, after I got into real estate, I realized, yeah, you can probably be, $1 million producer with a huge team on your side, but I don't know if I have the bandwidth or the capability to kind of to do all that entails with the workload and the putting out the fires and all that. So I'm getting to a point where I feel like I obviously want to keep. I still have the passion to do more and more business, but at some point I'll probably get to a point where I'm like, cool, I'm set and I'll be good here.
Sounds good. So, Jon, what advice do you have for young agents, or really any young entrepreneur or business professional getting started?
We kind of touched on it earlier, but I made the mistake when I first started, getting into real estate when I was my short stint in San Francisco. I joined a smaller company that didn't really have the proper training and didn't give me the fundamentals I needed to be successful. So then when I joined the Zia Group, I was very purposeful to join a company that put an emphasis on training and mentorship. So getting the proper training, and then of course, as I mentioned before, finding a mentor or someone that is willing to take you under their wing and show you the ropes. I quickly realized when I started the business, there are a lot of smarter people out there than I am, and they already have a formula of success that is obviously proven to work. I didn't need to recreate the wheel and try to do my own thing when I already had a blueprint for success. So taking what others have already done, just making it your own or making it even better so that it works for you. Those are the pieces of advice that I would give other young entrepreneurs out there.
Good to know and good to hear because, I think sometimes no matter where we're at in life, when we are trying to learn new things or implement new strategies, taking the path that's already been traveled, but having the option to alter it however you see fit, you're re-inspiring me right now and some things that I'm thinking about doing in my life. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes it can be an eye opener. You're trying to involved in in your process, in your way of doing things. And then you're like, wait a minute, like they already know I found an awesome way to do it. Like, why don't I just take that and like tweak it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Jon, I got 3 fun questions for you to wrap this thing up. And this is for the listeners to really get to know the real Jon Gilkeson. So, and you can answer these in any order you want, but here they are. 1, what is your favorite sport to watch? 2, what is your favorite European country? And 3, what is your favorite late night snack?
Love it. So, sports, I mean, I can talk all day about this, so you might need to cut me short, but sports is probably one of my passions. I'm a huge, the 3 main sports that I really at least watch on TV are basketball, baseball, and football. Being from Santa Barbara, it's only 2 hours north of LA. So I kind of got the LA teams that, diehard Laker fan. They're my number 1 team. And then
I'm originally from Cleveland, so you're welcome.
Okay. We got the king now. We'll see what happens with him this year. They've been playing better as of late. I'm not going to complain whenever you got LeBron playing on your team. That's kind of the teams that I like to watch. And then in terms of playing sports, I'm also, being from Southern California, a big beach volleyball guy. So I'm in a beach volleyball league in the summertime. I do a co-ed league with my girlfriend, and then a 3-on-3 league as well. And that keeps me fit, keeps me active. And of course I get to be on the beach a couple nights, evenings out of the week. So no complaints there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and then in terms of European country, so I probably have 2 or 3 favorites. It's hard to pick. I was fortunate enough to be able to study abroad when I was in college. So I lived in Holland, or the Netherlands, for a semester, and I absolutely love that country.
Put some mayonnaise on your French fries.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, not just mayonnaise, but like they love sauces over there. Just all kinds of sauces that I never would have thought of. So yeah, their country is just beautiful. I love all the canals. Love the flat land. You can bike anywhere. People are very nice. Amsterdam's an amazing city. So definitely Holland is up there. I'll always have a special place in my heart for Holland. And then another country that I absolutely fell in love with was Croatia. Beautiful coastal region there. Warm waters, delicious food, lots of little islands that you can kind of hop from. So I'm very high on Croatia as well. That was probably one of the favorite cities that I went to, of the maybe 15 that I was able to visit during my stay out there. So
that's cool.
How about yourself, Adam? Do you have a favorite European country? Or you've probably answered this question maybe a million times on your podcast already.
I never have. No. I think you're actually the first person to ask me a question like this on the show. So kudos to you.
Oh, right on. Yeah, we can't forget about the host here. He's the guy putting it on.
Oh man, European country. I might honestly have to match you on that. I've been to the Netherlands before for I think I was there for 8 days. Been to Italy, Germany as well. So not a whole lot of European countries, but yeah, Netherlands, I agree. The people were so nice. First of all, I forgot how close it was to the UK. So like everyone spoke English, which was also great because I'm sure, as you noticed, in Southern Europe, Italy, probably Croatia. I'm actually Slovenian, so I still have to go to Slovenia at least once before my time comes. Italy, you can't really speak English. I mean, there's a few people there that can. But
yeah.
Netherlands was great. I could go anywhere. And I was actually there about 2 years ago for the first ever, I didn't go for this reason, but the first ever Taco Bell in the country opened up, and it was incredible. It was like nothing compared to the Taco Bells we have here. That's all I have to say.
That's such an American thing. I love it.
There was actually, like, I waited in line outside for a half hour along with the rest of the population of Eindhoven. And they had a bouncer at the front door keeping track of how many people were in the building. Like, this was the real deal.
And knowing the European culture, they probably had like a DJ inside, like with a spin table or something.
It was like, yeah, you just can't even compare it to American Taco Bell. Sorry, guys. So,
awesome.
These 3 questions are really going, but that's fine with me. What is your favorite late night snack? Maybe Taco Bell. I don't know.
That one's Oh, shoot. I mean, at the old house I lived at, we were right around the corner from a Taco Bell. So too many Taco Bells. Luckily, I moved out of that spot because it was not healthy for me. But hands down, dude, I'm a big ice cream guy. We have a local company here called McConnell's. McConnell's ice cream is just freaking delicious. And it's probably, it's definitely not the best for me. I am slightly lactose intolerant, but I power through it because I love it so much. So ice cream would be my late night snack of choice.
Nice. Good choice. I'll have to check out McConnell's next time I'm in Santa Barbara.
Please do. You will thank me.
All right, Jon. Well, we're going to wrap things up now. Again, thank you so much for being on the show. And is there a way that the listeners can follow up with you if they want to get in touch?
Yeah. You can definitely Google my name, Jon Gilkeson. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Jon. Last name is Gilkeson, Gilkeson. Yeah, that would be the best way. So if you have any questions or have any real estate referrals, would be happy to help anyone out that you know. I appreciate you taking the time to do this, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you in the next episode. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.